Welcome back to my channel. Today we will be starting a very important topic in biochemistry, that is urea cycle and its disorders. Okay, so before moving on with the reactions of the urea cycle, let us see the introductory part. Okay, so this urea cycle has got three important names to be remembered, that is Krebs-Henschel cycle. It's not Krebs cycle. Remember students, it is Krebs-Henschel cycle. Okay, so why they have named it like this? Because it is a scientist name who have discovered the urea cycle. That is the scientist name, that is Krebs-Henschel cycle. So if they tell you in exam, explain the Krebs-Henschel cycle, so you have to draw the urea cycle, right? Next, it is also called as ornithine cycle because in this cycle the ornithine is regenerated. In urea cycle the ornithine is regenerated, so we call them as ornithine cycle. And also it is also called as urea bicycle because this urea cycle is linked with another cycle. Who is that, sir? That is Krebs cycle. Okay, so this urea cycle is linked with another cycle called as Krebs cycle. And how it is linked, why it is linked, if you ask me, this Krebs cycle, okay, it gives us aspartate. Remember, this Krebs cycle is giving us aspartate to the urea cycle, and as well as our urea cycle is giving us fumarate to the Krebs cycle. That we have to know. Okay, so they are linked to each other. So we have got three important names to be remembered, that is the Krebs-Henschel cycle, ornithine cycle, as well as urea bicycle. So hope you understand. Okay, next we will move on with the what are the sources of atoms of the urea cycle. Remember, when you write about the chemical formula of urea, that is the NH2CONH2, okay, the source of atom of the sodium here will be ammonia. This is the ammonia. Very simple. And in a similar way, the carbon, if you see, the carbon atom, that is for carbon dioxide respectively, right? And the another sodium is about the aspartate. Understand? So if they ask you what are the compounds consumed in the urea cycle, the answer remains the same, that is ammonia, carbon dioxide, as well as aspartate. Now you tell me, where is this urea cycle situated or located, and what is the site for it? It is liver exclusively. And also if you look at the organelles, it is both cytoplasm as well as mitochondria. Now let me ask you, what are the other pathways which takes place in both cytoplasm as well as mitochondria? The answer remains simple with a mnemonic, that is hug pathway. So here the hug pathway, that is the mnemonic, here H stands for heme synthesis, U stands for urea cycle, G stands for gluconeogenesis, and P stands for the pyrimidine synthesis, right? So these are all the cycles of synthesis which takes place in both cytoplasm as well as the mitochondria. Very simple, right? Next we will be moving with the reactions of the urea cycle proper, right? Now the carbon dioxide, that is CO2 plus NH2, will be combining in such a way to form carbamoyl phosphate, that is CP, okay, carbamoyl phosphate. Okay, now it has got an enzyme called as CPS1. What is that, sir? Carbamoyl phosphate synthetase 1. Remember synthetase 1. Okay, so this we have one more enzyme similar to it, that is CPS2, which will be taking place in the pyrimidine synthesis. Remember students. Okay, so CPS2 is also there, don't confuse. So what are the properties of the carbamoyl phosphate synthetase 1? Okay, this is a rate limiting or rate limiting step. First point is, it is the rate limiting step, and also it uses 2-energy phosphate. Okay, it uses 2-energy phosphate. Okay, so it uses 2-energy phosphate, and also we have an obligate allosteric activator called as N-acetyl glutamate. So this is the N-acetyl glutamate. Now what is this obligate allosteric regulator, sir? Without this, the reactions won't occur, the further actions won't occur. So we need the N-acetyl glutamate. Very simple, right? Okay, So since it is synthetase, the ATP will be there. Okay, so we have 2 energy bonds of phosphate. Okay, now what is the further? So this carbamyl phosphate reacts with ornithine. Okay, it reacts with ornithine to form citrulline. Understand? It reacts with ornithine to form citrulline, and this citrulline, before that, the ornithine transcarbamylase OTC, also called as OTC, ornithine transcarbamylase OTC. Okay, remember this concept. Okay, now this citrulline, which is present in the mitochondria, these all are taking place in the mitochondria. Okay, now this citrulline has to move outside the mitochondria into the cytoplasm. Now this citrulline is moving where? From mitochondria to cytoplasm, right? And this citrulline will combine with the aspartate. So this citrulline or this aspartate comes from the Krebs cycle, that is the TCA cycle. Okay, but TCA cycle or the Krebs cycle occurs where? In the mitochondria. But now the citrulline came into cytoplasm. Now our aspartate has to come into the cytoplasm. How, sir? Very important, that through aspartate glutamate transporter, our aspartate is coming from the mitochondria to cytoplasm. Very important, right? Okay, so this is the aspartate. Now what I said, citrulline plus aspartate is going to give us a compound called as arginosuccinate. Okay, now when arginosuccinate forms, what is the enzyme, sir? Aspartate arginosuccinate synthetase. So we got here aspartate, so write here aspartate. What is the compound formed? Arginosuccinate, so write the arginosuccinate synthetase, formation of ATP. How many phosphate bonds? 2 phosphate bonds, 2 energy bonds. Very simple, right? Okay, now we got the compound arginosuccinate. We are going to break this through arginosuccinate lyase to form a very important compound, this arginine. Understand? So now what is the other compound which has to be broken down? Fumarate. Okay, this fumarate will move to TCA cycle, Krebs cycle. Understand the concept? Very simple. We got the arginosuccinate, right? Now this arginosuccinate has to be broken down. So lyase, arginosuccinate lyase. So it is forming arginine and fumarate. That fumarate will move to Krebs cycle. Understand? Okay. Now this arginine is forming another compound, that is ornithine. How, sir? By an enzyme called as arginase. Understand? So arginine is nothing but the hydrolase, give of water. So this takes place, this ornithine will further give rise to urea. What is the formula for urea? NH2CONH3. Understand? Very simple. Okay, now this ornithine will be moving outside the, that is the, to the mitochondria again. That is regeneration of the ornithine, right? So that is being regenerated through the transporter called as ornithine transporter. That is the ornithine transporter. So it comes again to the mitochondria and the cycle carries on. That is the urea cycle. Hope you have understood this. Okay, so revise this cycle for many times so that you get in your mind. Okay, fine. Next important thing is, what is the energetics for this particular cycle? Very simple. Listen carefully. So we have learned about the CPS1. What is that? So it is a rate limiting step. It uses 2 energy phosphate bonds. Okay, and also we have the N-acetyl glutamate, which is the obligate allosteric activator. Okay, for this particular step. Understood? Okay. Now energetics, if you see, for CPS1, if you see, we have 2 phosphate bonds, 2 phosphate bonds, also 2 ATP. Okay, to 2 ADP. And here in this enzyme, the aspartate arginosuccinate synthetase, there is 1 ATP is there, that is 2 phosphate bonds, okay, and also 1 ATP, 1, remember 1. So total, if you see, we are having how much? 4 phosphate bonds as well as 3 ATP. Yes or no? So 3 ATP is used directly. And they may also ask you, okay, if 3 ATP is directly used, what is the ATP equivalent? Okay, in Harper they have given you about 3 ATP. In 1 mark question they may ask you what is ATP equivalent. Then don't go and tick 3. It is 4. Why is that? It is 4. ATP equivalent is equal to the number of energy phosphate bonds. Okay, so how much is the phosphate bond sum? 2 phosphate bonds, 2 and here 2 phosphate bonds, so total is 4. So we have 4 ATP equivalents used here. Understand? Very simple. Okay. Now let us see the regulation of this particular cycle. Listen carefully. So regulation in our diet, if there is increased amount of protein intake, that will induce our urea cycle enzymes. Very simple, right? Apart from that, our NAG I have already discussed. So NAG is what? Obligate allosteric regulator for this particular step. So it is the positive allosteric regulator for the CPS1. Very simple. Now also there is compartmentalization. Why sir? Because both the organs are involved, mitochondria as well as cytoplasm. That's what. So partially in the mitochondria and partly in the cytoplasm. So this is all about the urea cycle. In part 2 we will be discussing about disorders. Okay, thank you. Watch part 2. Thank you.